is Jeff McKee. I moved from Massachusetts to New Smyrna Beach, Florida 4 years ago. Since is retired and just enjoying the Florida weather. Coming from Massachusetts, the winters would start to get very annoying, so it's nice to be down here and enjoying the weather and not having to deal with the ice and the snow. My father had passed away, and I had inherited the car. I've had it for 12 years and just enjoy it immensely. It only has 137,000 miles on it, so my dad didn't drive it an awful lot, but he enjoyed it immensely. My dad bought the car in late 1982. He bought it from a small dealer. It was actually in New Hampshire. And I'm not sure if he was working with a dealership in Springfield, Massachusetts, that located the car in a dealer in New Hampshire. They brought the car down and they fell in love with it. My father kind of knew what he wanted. This was the second Mercedes. He had a 240 diesel, and this was the first time that came out with a 300, which was a 5-cylinder. And he always wanted a car with a little more pizzazz, and that's when he grabbed this one. And he retired shortly after purchasing the car, and my mom and he got into the car and they drove up through Canada, all the way over to Alaska, down through California, across into Texas, and then over into Florida. Spent a few months in the winter in Florida, and then would come back in the summer back to Massachusetts. He was one that never really had a vacation, so when they finally got into this car and they retired, they really enjoyed traveling, and they went everywhere. They would go to Pennsylvania every 3 months and just watch the Amish plowing the fields, and he just loved the car to death. And since then,
I have an interruption.
That idea of having a car that's 36 years old that looks in great shape. So I drive it as much as I can, probably 2-3 times a week. Pierre, my mechanic, is one that has constantly asked me to drive it more. He said this car just needs to be driven. You know, that he knows of people, and I know of people that have this same model with 1 million miles on it. And so it seems like the more I drive it, the better it runs and the better it performs, and the more interesting the car becomes to me. So I've taken his lead, and I'm driving it as much as possible and bringing it to car shows whenever I can.